Alright, I'm going to be reading from the Private Oral Exam Guide for their Private Pilot Certification. I'm in Chapter 5, Cross-Country Flight Planning. Start on 5-16, Diversion to Alternate and Loss Procedures. Number 3. A. What action should be taken if you become disoriented or lost on a cross-country flight? Condition 1. Plenty of fuel and weather conditions good. Straighten up and fly right. Fly a specific heading in a direction you believe to be correct, or circle if unsure. Don't wander aimlessly. If you have been flying a steady compass heading and keeping a relatively accurate navigation log, it's not likely you will have a problem locating your position. If several VORs are within reception distance, use them for a cross bearing to determine position. Even a single VOR can be an enormous help in narrowing down your possible position. Or fly to the station. There's no doubt where you are then. Use knowledge of your last known position, elapsed time, approximate wind direction and ground speed to establish how far you may have traveled since your last checkpoint. Use this distance as a radius and draw a semicircle ahead of your last known position on a chart. For example, you estimate your ground speed at 120 knots. If you have been flying 20 minutes since your last checkpoint, then the no-wind radius of your semicircle is 40 miles projected along the direction of your estimated check. If still unsure of your position, loosen up the eyeballs and start some first-class pilotage. Look for something big. Don't concern yourself with the minute or trivial at this point. Often there will be a linear feature such as rivers, mountains, ranges, or prominent highways and railroads that are easy to identify. You can use them simply as references for orientation purposes and thus find them a great value in fixing your approximate position. Condition 2. Low on fuel. Weather deteriorating, inadequate experience, darkness imminent, and or equipment malfunctioning. Get it on the ground. Most accidents are the product of mistakes which have multiplied over a period of time, and getting lost is no exception. Don't push your luck. It may well be that in doing so, you have added the final mistake, which will add another figure to the accident statistics. If terrain or other conditions make landing impossible at the moment, don't waste time, for it is of the essence. Don't search for the perfect field. Anything usable will do. Remember, most people on the ground know where they are, and you know that you do not. B. If it becomes apparent that you cannot locate your position, what action is recommended at this point? The FAA recommends the use of the 4 C's. Climb. The higher altitude allows better communication capability as well as better visual range for identification of landmarks. Communicate. Use the system. Use 121.5 MHz if no other frequency produces results. It is guarded by FSS control towers, military towers, approach control facilities, and air route traffic control centers. Confess. Once communications are established, let them know your problem. Comply. Follow instructions. What is DF guidance? C. DF guidance is given to aircraft in distress or to other aircraft that request the service. Headings are provided to the aircraft by facilities equipped with direction-finding equipment. Following these headings will lead the aircraft to a predetermined point such as a DF station or an airport. DF guidance for practice is provided when workload permits. D. While en route on a cross-country flight, weather has deteriorated and it becomes necessary to divert to an alternate airport. What is the recommended procedure? Mark your present location, mark your present position on the chart, write the current time next to your mark. Consider the relative distance to all suitable alternates. Select the one most appropriate for emergency. Determine the magnetic course to the alternate and divert immediately. Wind correction, actual distance, and estimated time fuel can then be computed while en route to alternate. Note: use the radial of a nearby VOR or airway that most closely parallels the course to the alternate. Distances can be determined by placing a finger at the appropriate place on a straight edge of a piece of paper and then measuring the approximate distance on the mileage scale at the bottom of the chart. C. Radio communication. What is the most common type of communication radio equipment installed in general aviation aircraft and how many channels are available. You know what? We're going to stop right there since we're going into a new section. We just went on B, which is B3. We went diversion to alternate loss procedures. All right, we'll end there on 5-18, cross-country flight planning, chapter 5. See ya.